Okay, so today we're going to go on to the next step with the Solana messaging app, and that's creating accounts. Now, they have two different, they have 5 and 6, page 5 and 6 on here. It seems a little bit involved. Remember, in Solana, accounts are what hold the data. So, the first type of account you're going to create, the first structure here, you say Derive Accounts. Now, what Derive Accounts means is that you have multiple accounts here. This is the initial account. You have to define the pair and the space. The second one is mutable, which means changeable. And here you have a constraint signer. And that means that the transaction is signed. And this the system program. Now, for what they talk about here, this is where the reference page here. It requires the system program exists on the struct, and it's called system program, which is what we have right here. So this is our first set of accounts. Now, they mentioned base account has not been defined. That will go on the next page. On the next page, we have two other account structs. So we have another Derive account, which is similar to the first, except it's for updating. And we're using an existing base account field. Again, mutable. And now we define base account, which is really where the information is. And the base account has the data, if you see here, holds the incoming message, while this vector here persists the list of messages. So what we're going to be doing is, in each account, we're going to be storing an incoming messages and keeping track of all the running messages. So basically, let's go back a page. And we can just copy and paste this here. I'm going to copy it, and now I'm going to bring up this here. And what I'm going to do is go down here, and this is going to replace this. So that is that. And we can get rid of this. And then we're going to do the same with the next one. Next two, rather. We're going to define our update account, which is going to essentially take over in terms of updating data rather than initializing it. And we got the final, which defines where the actual data is stored. And notice this is just a regular account. And get out of there. Now let's go back. Here, now going back, this is a very useful page because this goes through all of it. And again, let's see. So multiple, let's see where they get in, these are your constraints. That means that the given account signs the transaction. I want to go over again Derive Accounts because versus Derive Account versus account. So let's see. Implement accounts. These are okay. So let's go. What? So I want to see, I think he explains it here, the difference between, okay, which is basically one deriving, okay, I want to go, we are going, okay, whenever we need to include multiple accounts in a structure, we would use the Derive Accounts macro, which is Derive Accounts. Basically, when we want to derive an account to pass to the function using other accounts, we use the Derive Account macro while defining a singular account. We would while defining a singular account, we would simply use the normal account macro. Okay, so this is a little confusing. When we want to keep in mind, we need to include multiple accounts, which we do here, which is basic when we want to derive an account to pass to the function using other accounts. I'm going to look for a better definition of that. Let's see. I want to do a search on this because let's see. See if this implements and account serialize and apply any constraint. Okay. That doesn't really explain. I'm not typing well today. I think that's it. Oh, no, no. Well, I'm going to have to do a little research on this because I am not happy with this explanation here. Clearly we have two different accounts here, and I'm not sure, let's see, that makes sense. Basically, when we want to derive an account to pass to the function using other accounts. So I'm going to look into this a little bit more because I don't think this is clear enough as far as I'm concerned. Now then, the next thing that's done here is, and this is what we're going to end on, is get a program ID. And let's go back here so you can see it. Okay. So what it tells us to do, well, first of all, let's look at what they're talking about. Program ID right here, and it has a big long string. So it's kind of random, so we're going to do this, run this, and see if that, okay. So what I'm going to do, this is not quite, let me go into another, let's bring this back. No. Let's see. I did Control Z and alright. Alright, here we go. And I am going to create a second thing, and I am going to start that, what is it, Solana. Trying to find the exact command. Here we go. So in here, I'm going to go to okay, so that should start up the test validator. And I'm going to do yet another, and now we'll try, or actually what we're going to do is okay, so this is a deploy like we've done in Solana before, and you can see it gives you a program ID. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go in here, and we are going to replace this with alright. So that is the next step. Okay, so to finish off, right after I finished filming this originally, I did a little research, and I think the confusion that I had earlier was Derive is not actually an anchor thing or an account thing. If you see here, it is a Rust thing. It allows new items to be automatically generated for data structures. So if you say Derive Accounts, it means that is automatically can create accounts. For example, so that is the difference. Account just creates one account. Derive allows it to create multiple accounts. Let's see. So here we say derive partial equation, and it generates, so it can generate an implementation. That is the Rust definition of derive. So if you go back to our example here, this is saying you can derive the update accounts, and then update accounts are based, and also derive here. What it means is you can create multiple accounts. It can derive this multiple instances of this structure, and which is the same thing here. We can define multiple instances of the update, and that makes sense because you're going to have multiple users, right? So anyway, again, next time we're going to be continuing, and we're going to be looking at testing, and hopefully this has been helpful, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.